Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are dealing with this topic, leading with empathy and insight. And we are dealing with part 4 today, and I believe that you are learning something out of this. Now, the first thing that I want to deal with today is empathy itself. Because if we are speaking about leading with empathy and insight, so therefore you need to know what empathy is all about and what is the value of empathy in this equation. The first thing that I want you to understand is that empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Because empathy is that element that makes you not to become judgmental against others. Why? Because you understand what they're going through. Why? Because you understand their feelings and you share those feelings that they're going through in their lives. Now, it is very important that if you want to lead people with empathy and insight, you have to be in their shoes. You need to understand the emotions that they're going through. You need to be actually feeling what they're feeling and be right in their shoes. Put yourself in their shoes. Very, very important that you do so. Now, empathy, therefore, becomes then very important if you want to lead with empathy and insight. It's actually an element of in meetings where you show understanding by summarizing actually even what the people have said, if you really understand. So summarize. While you're speaking to somebody and you are having empathy upon them, just summarize what they say so that you understand clearly and be able to feel what they feel. Because sometimes we think that we understand what people feel. Sometimes we think that we understand what emotions people are going through, but verify by just summarizing exactly how you think they feel so that they can verify and agree if they feel that way or not. Because sometimes if you misinterpret the emotions, you misinterpret the feelings of the people, you may actually act indifferently, thinking that you are helping them while you're actually destroying them because you are not acting with empathy and insight, because you're not actually having insight of what they're going through. And therefore, your empathy cannot be appropriate when you don't have an insight of what people are going through. Very, very important. So therefore, others' feelings, for instance, you must say, I hear you are frustrated about, for instance, about this. And just check that, because if you don't check and verify how people are feeling, you're going to use assumptions. And assumptions can be hurting as well. And many people use assumptions of their own in people's situations and actually act inappropriately, because they've thought that they understood what people feel and what people are going through, and they misinterpret because their perceptions are not really true. And I want to emphasize that you become careful of how then you treat people. Don't assume that you understand. Verify with them. Quick tip about this is you need to practice active listening if you are to have empathy to other people. And I want to emphasize that many of us think that we are able to listen to people, but we are not, because our listening sometimes is with an aim of responding. It's not listening really to understand. And I want to emphasize when we talk about active listening, we're talking about listening with an aim to understand. Listening with an aim to understand what people are going through, not an aim of responding. So this is very important. Now, active listening is very key because people feel respected when you listen to them actively. In other words, we must understand that people value people that listen to them. When they realize that you listen to them as a leader, people would actually be able to rely on you. And they are able to tell more because they know that you listen to them. Now, leading with empathy and insight, it needs somebody who has got a listening ear. And I want to emphasize that God has given us 2 ears actually against one mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. And majority of us don't listen. We want to speak at all times. Now, as a young leader who is developing emotional intelligence to lead with empathy and insight, please use your ears more than you use your mouth to speak, because that's the only way you're going to be able to become emotionally intelligent as you deal with other people's situations. Listen actively. Listen to understand, not just to respond, as I've said. And that's very, very important. Now, I want to also say that it's very important that as a young man, as we continue with this topic, that you understand that you need to have what we call social skills. Because social skills are very important if you are to lead with empathy and insight, if you are to use your emotional intelligence to lead people. And emotionally intelligent leaders are having what we call social skills. And I want to speak a little bit about those before we close today. Now, social skills are things that you're building and managing relationships effectively. Ability to build. Ability not to only build, but to manage those relationships. Because there are people that are able to build relationships, but yet they are not able to manage them. And the very same relationships that they've built, and they crumble within a short space of time because they are not able to manage them. Managing relationships is such a skill that is very important for emotionally intelligent people, because the emotions and feelings of other people must be taken into cognizance in a relationships, and don't do things just as you feel, and don't assume that people want to be treated this way without finding out from them. And that's very important when you manage your relationships. Very, very important. Now, you must foster team spirit and team collaboration. And that's part of what we call leading with empathy and emotional intelligence, leading with empathy and insight. And that's emotionally intelligent leaders that are participating in this. And you are fostering team collaboration. Let people work together. There's no success without collaboration. And many times, many teams are divided, and they are not actually holding things together. They are not carrying the load together. And therefore, there's no progress at all when you are leading a team that is not collaborating. Collaboration is one of those key emotional intelligent actions that a leader should actually show by making sure that the team is collaborating. But collaboration goes along with unity, oneness, ability to actually recognize each other's skills and work together. Don't be jealous as a team towards each other. And as a leader, make sure that you discourage jealousy, you discourage hatreds, you discourage backbiting against each other, because these are the elements that are killing unity in a team. So therefore, collaboration cannot be where the team is not united. Now, as a leader who's having emotional intelligence, these are priorities that you should look at to make sure that your team is actually collaborating. Encourage open dialogue amongst each other. Let people speak one to another. Let people listen to one to another. Let people consider respecting each other as well in their communication, because that's the only way you're going to see a team cohesive as it can be, and you're going to start to see collaboration. So let them have dialogue with each other. Let not people actually be apart. Let not people walk away from each other. Let them converse. Let them talk. Let's not find team members that are not talking to one another. So this is very diabolic if you are allowing people that are not speaking to one another in the team. So let us foster actually reconciliation amongst team members so that they can be able to speak to one another and therefore collaborate in what they do. So dialogues are very, very important. And recognize contributions regularly as well, because that's another thing that emotionally intelligent leaders do, where you recognize performance, where you recognize contributions of others and regularly. Don't keep quiet when people are doing well, because that's the only way they're going to remain motivated in their lives. It's the only way that they will perform even much more. And I want to consider this as a very key skill of emotionally intelligent leader who is actually managing in empathy, through empathy and insight. Because when you do that, you're going to be able to encourage people to perform even much more. When you recognize their contribution, when you speak about their contribution and share actually their contribution with others as well, people feel good when their ego is nourished by being encouraged and being recognized when they've done good. And that becomes very important from you as a leader who's emotionally intelligent, a leader who's leading with emotional intelligence or empathy and insight as well. Now, quick tip on this one. You must master the art of nonverbal communication as well, because the way you behave, people are watching. The way you do things, people are watching. So your nonverbal communication may speak a lot amongst your people. And it might be divisive, It might be also collaborative as well. So this is very important that you master your body language. You master your eye contact, how you deal with people, how you look at people, how you behave, and sometimes without saying anything in front of people as well. It becomes very important, and what it does, it actually shows whether there's any empathy, whether there's any insight from you, and the people then will respond appropriately based on your non-verbal approach as well. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of Young Men Empowerment Forum. We believe that you have learned something out of this, and you will take it up and make sure that you continue sharing this with other people, and you'll learn much more. Remember our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane. So please like and follow us on those platforms. Don't forget our YouTube channel as well, under Micornus Phokane and Young Men Empowerment Forum. Please subscribe to those YouTube channels. Make sure that you click notification buttons as well. And our TikTok account, waiting for you as well. What a great platform we have in that. Under Micornus Phokane, make sure that you follow us as well there. May the good Lord bless you. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.